Hey everybody, welcome back. It's been a very weird 2020. I think my last video was at the onset of the corona, and my time was kind of occupied with other things, so really kind of laid off the videos through the summer and kind of left you guys hanging on our gardening and different things we do around the farm. But here we are back into deer season, and we're out in the Jeep trying not to hit every rut in the field, and we're checking for scrapes because it is that time now. Deer chasing. I just ran a little small buck back into our property. As I was coming in, he was about to cross the road, so maybe he'll stay on us. Fingers crossed. He'll live. If he goes anywhere else, it's anybody's game. But yeah, we're moving our cameras around now with the weather changing and the deer starting to do different things. We're moving our cameras off of our Deer 30 protein blend and mineral side. So yeah, like I was saying, camera cut off. We're moving our cameras off of our feed, off of our Deer 30 mineral and Deer 30 protein blend to scrapes now, because they're rutting around and they're looking to see what's going on. So I've got one of the guys from the lease calling me now. He probably saw me on camera. But we're just, we're moving things. Better lock this in so we can see what we've got. We want to see what bucks are actually cruising through, because this time of year, you never know. You can, see if this rut isn't too deep for the Jeep. Oh, we're good. You can see deer that you've never seen all year that'll be cruising through. And if you can put a mock scrape out, you might get that guy keeping on coming back in. You might get a shot at him. So what I've done is I've went and I've bought some You're in Luck deer scent from Josh Neal and You're in Luck deer scents, and we're going to put us some scrapes out. And if I can't find a good one, we're just going to make one anyway, because I bought the bladder pods, and we're gonna lay some scent down from a doe that is ready, doe in estrus, and then we're going to put some dominant buck urine in it. And this might be a scrape right here. We'll check. I just hope I have good enough signal so I can run my cell cameras down here. We've got issues with cell signal. That's just dirt moved around. I'm not gonna call that a scrape. Could have been some turkey scratching. But I'll find me a spot through here. This area gets traveled quite frequently during rut because it connects different big sets of woods. That was a scrape there last year, but nothing's really worked over on it right now. It's still full of leaves, covered up. We've got a stand in this field, so in a muzzleloader type situation or a rifle, you can shoot this whole field. But during bow season, you know, it can be rather difficult to get one coming through to where you want it, unless you've got a mock scrape. You could get them. Oh, we've got a winner. We got a working scrape here, ladies and gentlemen. So it's time for me to get out and do something. But like I was saying, if you don't have a spot worked up or a good scrape going, you can make a mock scrape and put it there close enough for you to be able to shoot it with your bow. But these are the bladder pods that my buddy Josh Neal with You're in Luck uses, or he makes. He has his deer farm. Great operation, great setup, good stuff, and it's strong. I mean, it's right out of one deer, bottled up. You're good to go. So we're gonna walk out here, and I'm gonna turn this camera around so you don't have to look at my ugly mug. but it's been working it up in here pretty good. So I'm going to take and I'm going to shake out some of these bladder pods. If I can do this, I'll just sit this here. Ooh. Ah, it's a good vintage. Very strong. Turn it around again. See, we got our little crystals in here. Now this stuff is going to hold the scent a lot better than just pouring it straight on the ground. So those crystals, the pods, whatever you want to call them, they're going to hold that scent a lot longer than just pouring them on the dirt and then them just dissipating out. So now that I've done that, time to give him a little trouble. This is his "You're in Trouble." This is the dominant buck. And if it's one of the bucks that I've seen out there, he is dominant. He's a big dude. For a 2-year-old buck, it's bigger than most deer people will ever see in a lifetime, and he's just 2 years old. So we're gonna take this and we're gonna try to piss off a buck. We're going to get him thinking that there's a hot doe around here. And old Big Daddy's done moved in following her. I think that'll do. So we've got good licking branches for them to leave scent on, because there is scent. There's scent around their eyes and on their mouth. Just they'll rub all over stuff. You know what? I'm going to do an experiment. I'm going to sit this. I'm going to try to wedge this in here. Somewhere. There we go. I'll wedge it in there and I'll put my camera on it. We'll see how many deer come up and sniff the lid. Now, get our handy dandy covert camera. And I'm going to set this thing up. Oh, well, let's get something that's going to stick in the ground. There we go. It's a good hard spot. Now, with that limb being there, if it gets windy, we're going to have a lot of pictures of nothing. But that's okay. We've got a working scrape. And we are going to try to catch them in the act. We're going to see who's working this scrape. So, camera's turned back on. Get it set up into place. I think that's just about right. Look at that. Fresh wet poop. So, I mean, this scrape hasn't been worked very long. It was probably done this morning. And I would almost bet if we go on up the trail here to where my stand is, I bet there's more up there. But that's what we're going to do on this one. We got a lot of rain coming in on us now. It's picking up. But those bladder pods will still hold the scent. But that's it for now, and hopefully we'll be able to add to this and put some pictures on here. So the lease member that was calling me, actually, I guess saw my truck go across the top of the hill because he decided that today was a good day to work on the lease as well. So we're in here knocking out weeds and trying to keep our food plot from shrinking. So we've gone in here and we're knocking out the high stuff. And then, I don't know if you can see all this clover. I mean, it's all the way around through this field like that. That's our friends at Deer 30 that hunt with us. They've gotten into the food plot industry, and they are flat killing it. I'll check with my buddy Jeremy Tate. We'll see what this is, but I know this one is it's heavier on the clover, and there's some other stuff that's in it. But they've got food plot blends for fall, for spring, for year round. They've got one called border wall. So if you're close to a road and you want to block off an area so people aren't just gawking at your deer, just plant you a wall, man. But they've got this stuff big. Look at this. The whole time I've been talking, I've been walking through this field, and it's just solid clover. We didn't have us an access trail through the summer to keep up on it, but even with little to no maintenance on this, I mean, you can see the weeds that are up in it, but look at this out in it. It's still just solid clover. I mean, it's good stuff. If we could have come in here and mowed this once a month, it'd been just a solid green carpet all year. But it's still holding that green. It's gonna really do good for our deer season, I believe. While I'm here, I might as well check to see if there's any scrapes on this field. We can move that camera around on here. It's just going to be a busy day for us today. What I look for on scrapes is I'll look for a tree with a limb that they can kind of nip at and just kind of look below it and see if there's something that looks like it might have been a scrape at one point. But I'm just looking for obvious sign of scrapes, and they don't have to have the tree limb hanging over, but a lot of them will like to nip at it and rub their antlers on it, just like a dog peeing on a fire hydrant. They want to put their scent out there. Well, whoop. I think that's just tractor marks. Kind of growed up right there. It'd be hard to make a scrape in it, but I've seen them do it before. Well, I don't see any on this side of the field, but that's not to say there isn't one over there on the other side of that ditch. Because we've got stands over there, and there's always a scrape just on the other side. So I'll probably grab this camera from here. Oh, now that my ankle's getting sore, and we'll just move that camera over to there, because we know we've got deer using this food plot heavy. I mean, look at this. Good grief. Like, it's bury your feet in it. That's going to be excellent browse for the deer. You know, not only for us for hunting, but our herd's going to be healthier for it, for putting this in. So I mean, it's one thing to love to come out and shoot animals, and we do. We love hunting. That's what it's about. But you got to have the animals here to be able to shoot them. So we kind of look at it from both aspects. We want to take care of what we've got so we can have stuff to shoot, because that'll fill the freezer. All right, well, we'll look around and find the next spot. All right, so this spot here is a prime location for a mock scrape. We just bush hogged in through here because we've got some trails coming in and out of this ditch, and we want to train them to come into our food plot from this spot. So we've got a good overhanging limb, something they can reach up and nibble on. They can thrash their horns on it. So I'm going to come in here, and some people say don't use your boots, but we're out in here in the field all the time anyway, so these smell like where we're at. Put a little of my urine luck bladder pods in here. One container of this, I believe he said, will do 3 scrapes. It'll do up 3 scrapes pretty good. That's putting plenty of scent in the area. So I'm putting a little of that urine treble, the buck urine. we've been watching a buck and we want him to think somebody's intruding on his territory. So I'm loading this one up kind of heavy with this stuff because it's raining a little bit. Still want a little to hang around. Put some on that leaf, see if that'll hold some scent a little better. So now I've got this set up. I know where I'm wanting the deer to stop. So now I'm going to take my camera and I'm going to walk back here and set up, just kind of eyeball it. And I think this is far enough away that they're not going to focus on it. And I should be able to get a good angle of anything that's coming through. That looks about right, I think. So, turn my camera back on. Now we'll see if we can get one of those bucks on camera. So here we are in another one of our hunting spots. We've got a quad pod tower, and we're in a big CRP grass field. And you're allowed to mow half of it a year, but we don't ever mow it. We're gonna mow some strips in it. We're gonna ring the edge with the bush hog. We'll go all the way around, and then we'll put a couple, strips through it, just trying to make travel corridors easier for the deer, but not clean this up totally, because they'll get out in here and they'll bed down, and the does like to hang out in here, and then the bucks will push them around. So we don't want to clean it completely out. We just want to make travel as easy as possible for the deer when they come through here. So we'll get that done, and then we'll try to find us another spot to put a mock scrape, or find one that's actually freshened up and that a deer's actually using, and we'll freshen it up with some deer urine, some urine luck deer urine, and hopefully we'll get that big one this weekend. We got muzzleloader coming, so a lot of guys are getting excited, and we're getting our first temps down in the 30s, I think, tonight or tomorrow night. So it's time for the deer to start moving. We're seeing a lot more moving. We're just waiting for the big ones to start moving. So anytime now.